on YouTube? This is your boy Lone coming at you with the new series. Now I do apologize, I did kind of get into a hurry with doing some gameplay of, this game. Now in this series, what I'm going to do is actually break this game down to you guys. What I'm going to dive into are the tutorials, tips and tricks on actually how to be a good cop on this game. We're going to go over policy book. We're gonna get kind of familiarized with the map, kind of understanding how everything works in the tabs. I'm gonna show you the location of police stations in this series, how to change the uniforms, how to change the patrol car skins, adding equipment, how to even change a car. We're gonna go in and out of the operating a patrol car, how to get the equipment from a car, like when you go to a scene, how to equip equipment from your duty belt. And then we're gonna get into the calls and all that stuff. So for right now, let's dive into it. We're actually gonna get into the handbook. So we're gonna dive right in, and yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into the policies and procedures of what you are going to have to do to become a good cop. All right. So right now we're under the general tab, which is how to. So right here it says, "Welcome to the Bradenton Police Force Officer. Please study this handbook carefully at the start of your new career and occasionally refresh your memory later in your career. Remember, law enforcement code of ethics is all in situations." It is. That is very true. "As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve the community, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all to liberty, equality, and justice. In this handbook, you will find many helpful tips and hints about a patrol officer's daily duties and what to expect of them. Each handbook entry has links to other related entries. Study it carefully to become an understanding, honest, and decisive patrol officer." Like I said, that is literally the gist of it. I would probably say that is our mission statement. Like I said. So here's what the following topics will provide you of good understanding, which is focus, reasonable suspicion, probable cause. Reasonable suspicion and probable cause are your big two key prior factors of being a good cop, and we'll dive into it here in just a minute. You got detaining, asking for ID, handcuffing, and casual and simulation game modes. So there is a disclaimer. The information contained in this video handbook is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as legal advice on any subject matter. Yes, that is very true. Do not use this out in the real world for goodness gracious. So in our actions, we have detaining. So, basically a Terry stop. And this is an actual case law, Terry versus Ohio. I'm not going to dive into it much, but this is what you need. This is what basically a Terry stop is an investigation detention or investigational stop. Only if you know that somebody has done or will be doing a crime is when you use Terry. Now, like I said, investigation, detention, or arrest. You can detain pedestrians, littering, jaywalking. There's going to be times where wanted persons possessions, even when they're doing graffitis, like I said, we'll get into that. Another way to detain drivers is by traffic stops. You also will be doing traffic stops, so we'll get into how to get into the vehicle, what to look for, documents of individuals, and what to look for in the ID, insurance, registration, stuff like that. So don't worry. Pulling over cars. So there's going to be multiple traffic stops that we will be diving into a little bit later on in the series. One of them is going to be speeding, red lights, exhaust, just the standard stuff. So like I said, we're not going to get much into the pulling over cars until we get to that. Asking for ID. Now here's a couple things that you can do asking for ID. If they're a wanted suspect, so making sure that the individual matches the description or the name matches. Committed a crime, assault, robbery, and car theft. Like I said, a lot of these we will dive into a little bit later. We're just going to take it step by step. Violating for laws, for example, littering. So here's a couple things that I want you guys kind of look at. On the other hand, there is also behavior that is not justified. Asking for an ID. So sweats, has a runny nose, walks around drunk. You don't need an ID. You can just question them, making sure they're okay. Not every ID is a valid driver's license. Driver's license carry a statement identifying them as such. Other IDs do not. So Just we're going to be wary of that. So frisking and searching. So there's two different ways that you could do frisking and searching. Searching is when you actually arrest somebody in a crime. Could be DUI, fleeing, some kind of major crime. You're gonna search that person before they even get into the patrol car. And like I said, we will break situations down in this series. We're gonna dive into it, so don't get too carried away. We're gonna pick apart this. Now with the frisking, you know, like if the individual shows like they're a DUI, traffic violations resembling a wanted person, you could do certain friskings, but we're not really going to get into the frisking part of this. A lot of the time you're going to be searching, and like I said, we'll dive into it a little bit later. Issuing tickets and verbal warnings, like I said, a lot of that too is when we start handling the calls. You're going to get a lot of that when you actually do traffic stops. Now with traffic stops, you could actually give people warnings, and like I said, we will get into that. You can also issue people for jaywalking. You can get them for littering. You can get them for even graffiti. So we'll get into some scenarios for you guys to look at. So arresting, here's a couple of scenarios that you can arrest people. You know, carrying illegal items, a switchblade, if they carry a firearm or drugs. Now with the drugs, it is actually, they have to have over an ounce, so be mindful. Driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, so a DUI, fake ID, because you don't know who it is. Driving without a valid driver's license, yeah, you could arrest them for that if you wanted to. Stolen ID, we will get into that. You've already seen one video. Wanted suspects, fleeing, you can do that too. Here's some hints a little bit for you guys to look at. I'll leave it here just for a second. Pause the video if you guys ever need to. I'm going to kind of go fast because there is a lot to kind of go into this booking, and I don't want to be here all day. So DUI and drugs, I'm going to just keep it on the synopsis. And really quick, for the alcohol blood level, it is 0.8. If it hit 0.8 or higher, that is a arrest for a DUI. If it pops for either drugs with his, they call it amphetamines, so on here, which is nice. So if they either pop with amphetamines or if they actually pop for being high, you can actually get them for that too. And like I said, we will get into some certain scenarios where we do that. So interviewing witnesses, when you guys get to a car accident, you are going to be questioning drivers. You're going to be questioning everybody who might have seen stuff. You're also going to be questioning when we get to crime scenes. You're going to want to figure out who did what. And like I said, don't worry about it. We're going to get into it, calling an ambulance. When you get into a collision and you see people down, even on a actual... When you get to a call where you have to respond and you see someone down, you will be calling an ambulance. Like I said, don't worry about it. Tow trucks. This is majorly for when you arrest someone for a DUI. You can search the vehicle on a DUI. Also with accident collisions, when you let that person go and the vehicle is not able to be drivable, you can call it in. Or if you literally see it smoke and it's not working. Here's the evidence part. So there's a lot of evidence. So... allowed chatting. I like how that does this. So allowed for ID, alcohol test, drug test. You know, here's kind of like I said, expired license plates, park cars on the sidewalk, too far on the street. So there's some evidences. Here's more of it. Detaining and pulling over. Here's a lot of the traffic stops we will be going into right here. The broken lights, expired IDs, damaged windshields. And I'm going to show you guys how to actually, when you're sitting at a traffic light, on how to zoom in and look. We'll get into that too when we get into actually the traffic stops. You could do traffic enforcement while parked vehicles, no parking zones, parking by a fire zone, speeding, crosswalks, you know, there's all that stuff. Here's where the frisking is allowed. Angry, avoiding eye contact, fearful, looking around, nervous. So if you feel like there's something going on, do a frisk. Like I said, search is more when the individual is actually more under the fact of something, they actually committed a crime, is when you want to search the individual because you're going to arrest them anyway. Like I said, here's the handcuffing and arresting, carrying drugs, illegal items, DUI, fake IDs, possession of stolen vehicle, open warrants. I know there's a lot into this book, but like I said, I want you guys to kind of understand what we're going to get into before we get into it. So at the end of the shift, there will be times where you're going to have to go and report back to the police stations, and I'll show you how to do that. and you gotta write reports. But it basically shows you what you did right and what you did wrong and what you can actually learn from it, which is kind of cool. And like I said, this game is not 100% realistic. There's going to be some times where you're going to be like, well, this is actually how it works. The game's going to see it differently because it's not going to actually get into the nitty-gritty. Policing is gray areas. Trust me. So greetings, citizens. There's going to be people that, you know, if you're doing a traffic stop or something, someone, a pass-byer might just say, might greet you. Greet them. You get actually extra points. Just letting you know. Now, asking for directions. When you guys are on patrol, you guys will be finding and seeing all these little cool knickknacks, buildings, certain things throughout the community. People are going to ask you where certain things are. If you have it in your map and know how to use it, do it. If not, don't worry about it. Roadblocks and traffic stops. Now, roadblocks, I don't really like to do them. I'm more of a traffic enforcer. I like to be on the street and finding it. But there's going to be times where if you want to do DUI roadblocks or inspections, you're more than welcome to. You can respond to that call. I'm not going to get into it, but I'll show you what it's like down the road, but I'm not worried about it. Same thing with giving traffic orders to pedestrians. You know, you can tell them, you know, you can basically detain them, back away from the area. I'm just going to kind of leave it right here. Pause the video if you guys need to. Crime scene investigation. Now, this is where it's going to be fun. When you get to a crime scene investigation, I love how they call it CSI. When you actually respond, I'm going to show you how to lock down a scene, how to use evident markers, how to take pictures, how to do witness statements, and how to actually just document and handle a crime scene. So there will be times where, yes, you will have to lock down a scene. I would recommend if you guys can have a partner play this with you, do it. If not, I'll show you how to do it by yourself. It's actually kind of cool. Now, first aid. There's going to be incidences where people are going to be hurt on, like I said, a crime scene or an actual collision. When that happens, there's going to be a time where someone's going to lay down. You saw it in one of my videos. Get CPR. It'll show you how to do it. It's no big deal. And then bandage them up. Sometimes they'll let you talk to them so you can kind of figure out what's going on. Sometimes you won't. It is what it is. Here's some of the tools. Like I said, there's a lot in here alone. And I'll break this a little bit more down for you guys down the road. You know, the gun, road flares, patrol cars, flashlights, you know, the equipment. This is going to be down the road, different videos that I'm going to actually show you guys. So I'm not going to get really into the nitty gritty on that. Felonies. We got littering, traffic violations. Like I said, I'll help you out with that. Drinking in public, graffiti, vandalism. Technically, those aren't really felonies. Wanted suspects could be. Those are also misdemeanors, gross misdemeanors, larceny. Really, your major felonies is what in law enforcement we call BARC felonies, and it's burglary, arson, robbery, rape, and kidnapping. Those are our actual BARC felonies that, as law enforcement officers, those are our felonies. Other states are different, but that's how it normally goes. Highway, yes, there's pits. You actually saw it in one of my videos. I had to use a pit. Set up roadblocks. So this is actually something I want to look at really quick because I haven't done it really much at all. I'm usually just, I'll go after them. But you're able to actually request pits or roadblocks, which people will set up spike strips. I've done it one video, but yeah. Oh, commercial vehicle. So you get to be state patrol. Yay. So you actually get to be inspecting vehicles. Here's arrest, illegal weapons, drug paraphernalia, counterfeit, transportation of animal furs. See, that one's new to me. You can write tickets or verbals for undeclared cargo offenses and overweight. Like I said, guys, we're going to get stuff. Yes, we will be doing highway patrol. We will be doing state patrol. We will be doing city, which I've already kind of got into, but we are going to be doing it all. So that is just the kind of the down nitty gritty of what the actual procedures and policies that you will be following as a police officer. Like I said, we will be getting more into that here down the road, but I just wanted to show you guys the start of how to become a good officer in this game. Like I said, we're going to do the tips and tricks of this in this series, so I hope you guys did enjoy. If you do, hit that like button, hit that sub button, and then comment down below if you guys have any questions on how to do certain things. I will do my best to help you out. But But for right now, we're going to kind of dive more into the series, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.